Hello all, I am the Holland Phantom, and for today's video we're going to be having a live battle from the 2003 Neo to Skyridge format. On one side, we've got the light Dragonite deck with deck list provided by Twitter user at PTCGArchive, going up against the Meganium and Exeggutor deck with deck list created by Klaczynski. The light Dragonite deck is going to be focused on using Dragonite's miraculous wind Pokemon power to shut off all effects on special energy cards, making it so that boost energy can provide consistent triple colorless energy without having to be discarded at the end of the turn. And the Meganium deck is going to be focused on using Meganium's wild growth Pokemon power to make all grass energy cards provide 2 grass energies at once, so that Exeggutor's called Shot Attack can hit Pokemon on the opponent's bench for massive damage. So we'll see which of these two decks can take the victory today. But before we begin, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to this channel, as we're really close to hitting 3,000 subscribers. So if you enjoy our content, please make sure to leave a subscribe, it really helps us a lot. And now with that out of the way, let's get into the battle! And here we go, the battle has started, with both players moving over their starting Pokemon. On the Dragonite side, we've got Elekid as the active Pokemon, and on the Meganium side, we've got Cleffa as the active Pokemon, with an Exeggutor on the bench. The Dragonite side is going first, activating a Pokemon Trader to swap out a light Dragonite from the hand for a Cleffa from the deck, which then comes down onto the bench. It might be the first attacker of the game if it gets an energy card. Yeah, there we see a Psychic Energy coming down to the Cleffa. And now it's going to be attacking with Eek. The player's going to be flipping a coin to see if the attack goes through, and it's going to be a heads. So now they can shuffle away their hand to draw 7 brand new cards to close out their first turn. In this format, Cleffa are baby Pokemon, and if a player tries to attack into a baby Pokemon, they have to flip a coin. And if they get tails, the attack fails, and the turn automatically ends. Okay, now to the other side. The player's also going to be starting off with the Pokemon Trader, swapping out a Pikachu from the hand for any Pokemon from the deck. It's going to be a Chikorita now, coming down to the bench. Chikorita's going to be the main support Pokemon, and also one of the main attackers once it evolves into Meganium. Then we see a Grass Energy coming down to the active Cleffa, and there's Eek. There's a coin flip, it's going to be a heads, just like the previous turn. Also shuffling away the hand to draw 7 brand new cards. Both players are going to be using these early turns to set up their fields. Okay, now that's going to be the end of the first turn for the Meganium side. Back over to the Dragonite side. There we see a Dratini, 2 Dratini, and an Eevee coming down. So 3 more Pokemon coming down to the bench. One of the Dratini is going to be getting a Focus Band as the Pokemon tool. And there we see the supporter for the turn, Copycat. The player shuffles away their hand to draw the same number of cards as their opponent has. And we know that they have 7 cards in hand because they just finished using Eek on the previous turn. So they got a hand of 7 new cards. Let's see what else they can do. Do they have any energy cards to start attaching? Yeah, there we see a Psychic Energy coming down to the Dratini with the Focus Band, followed by Professor Elm. To once again shuffle away the hand, draw 7 cards again. A lot of shuffling and drawing in this format. But after they use Professor Elm, they can't use any more trainer cards for the rest of the turn, so let's see what else they can do. Actually, they're going to be playing no more cards. They're going to be trying to attack again with Eek. But it's going to be a Tails that time. The attack does not go through, and nothing happens. Back over to the Meganium side now. The supporter for the turn is going to be the Pokemon Fan Club, searching the deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon to place onto the bench. And then we see 2 more Exeggutor coming down. So 3 Exeggutor and a Chikorita. The player still has 1 more space on their bench. Then we see the first Exeggutor evolving into an Exeggutor, which then gets Grass-type energy. It is now technically fully powered up, as each of its attacks only needs 1 energy card. But it does get stronger the more energy it has. Okay, another Chikorita came down, and there's the attack Eek. But they also get a tail, so nothing happens. Back over to the other side. Do they have any evolutions? Then we see a second Psychic Energy coming down to the bench Dratini. And the Eevee is going to be evolving into an Espeon. Okay, no more cards. There's the attack Eek. It is going to be a heads that time. To shuffle away the hand and draw another 7 cards. The player's going to be trying to search out their Dragonair and Dragonite to start attacking. Okay, now let's see if the other side has any more evolutions to play down. Yeah, there we see the Chikorita evolving into a Bayleaf. No more cards are played. There's the Eek attack once again. And they also get a heads. Okay, once again, drawing another 7 cards. Like I said earlier, the early turns of this format are just going to be focused on setting up their attackers before any damage actually comes through. Okay, do they have any Light Dragonair? Yes, they do actually. One of the Dratini does evolve into Light Dragonair. It's going to be getting the 3rd Psychic Energy, so it is now fully powered up. And there's a Copycat. Once again, shuffling away the hand to draw another 7 cards. And now the player just has to search their deck for their Light Dragonite to possibly start dealing damage on the following turn. So let's see what they got. Okay, there we see the second Light Dragonite come down. And it looks like they're also making some space on their bench. They might be putting down another basic Pokemon. And yes, it's going to be the third Dratini coming down. Okay, so doing pretty good so far. There's the attack Eek. Here's the coin flip for it. Does the attack go through? And it's going to be a Tails. Nothing happens. So the player has to hope that they already have their Dragonite in hand. And on the other side, Bayleaf does evolve into the Meganium to activate the Pokemon power Wild Growth. And now all grass energies count as double grass energies, meaning that this Exeggutor now has 4 energy attached. And it also gets the Focus Band. Exeggutor has the attack called Shot. It can hit any Pokemon on the opponent's bench for 10 damage times the number of energy cards attached to it. So now Exeggutor can hit anything on the bench for 40 damage. Okay, the player also just activated their own Copycat to draw some more cards out of the deck. Did they get any more evolutions for their other Exeggcute? Okay, there we see another Bayleaf coming down to evolve their second Chikorita. And now the Clefairy's going to be retreating to promote the Exeggutor. So the player's going to be trying to take their first prize of the game. Let's see if the attack goes through. So they can take the KO against either Elekid or the Dratini. And here's the attack called Shot. Here's a coin flip. And it's going to be a heads. The attack goes through and knocking out the Dratini on the bench. And there we go. Meganium has taken the first prize of the game. Okay, over to the Dragonite side. Did the player actually have a Dragonite? Yes, they do. Light Dragonair evolves into Light Dragonite, the main attacker of the deck. And there we see Professor Elm to shuffle away the player's hand, draw 7 brand new cards. They can't use any more trainer cards for the rest of the turn, but they can finally start dealing some damage with Dragonite. Did they get another Dragonite? Yeah, they have both Dragonite coming down. And one of them is fully powered up. It's going to be jumping into the active spot to go up against his Exeggutor. Are we going to be seeing any more Pokemon coming down to the bench? Okay, there's the attack. Light Wave, hitting for 40 damage. And now Dragonite cannot be affected by any special conditions. Okay, back over to the other side. The Elekid on the bench is still within KO range of this Exeggutor's called Shot attack. There we see the second Meganium also evolving on the bench, followed by Copycat to shuffle away the player's hand and draw some more cards out of the deck. Still trying to search their deck for some more Exeggutor, just in case his active one does get KO'd. Did they get one? Yes, they did. Another Exeggcute evolves. And now it's going to be getting a Grass Energy. So like I said earlier, it does count as a double Grass Energy. And there's the attack, called Shot. Actually, it's going to be KOing the Clefairy, taking the second prize of the game. Okay, on the Dragonite side, the bench Dragonite's going to be getting a Boost Energy, counting as a triple colorless energy. And there's the attack. It's going to be Light Wave again. There's the Focus Band activating. Let's see if the coin flip comes up heads. It's going to be a Tails, actually. So the Focus Band does nothing, and the Exeggutor is KO'd. Dragonite finally takes their first prize, but they are still one prize behind. On the other side, the Clefairy comes back into the active spot. It does have the free retreat cost to act as a pivot. And now the player's going to be activating a Pokemon Trader to swap out a Bayleaf from their hand for any Pokemon from the deck. And that's going to be the third Exeggutor coming down. So 2 Exeggutor on the bench. There's another Copycat. So the player just needs one more Grass Energy to attach onto their Exeggutor to take the KO against the Elekid on the bench. But for right now, they can only deal 20 damage with Called Shot. Okay, yes, they did get the energy. They can take another prize this turn. And they also got a Stadium down, Energy Stadium. Okay, they're going to be activating it. Here's a coin flip. And it's Tails. Okay, it does nothing. Otherwise, they could have gotten a basic energy card out of their discard pile back into their hand. Now Clefairy's going to be retreating to promote the Exeggutor. And that should be the third KO if they go after the Elekid on the bench. Yeah, there's the attack. Called Shot, taking the KO against Elekid, taking the third prize. And they are now 2 prizes in the lead. Dragonite does have to hit this Exeggutor 2 times before they can knock it out. Okay, the player's going to be activating their opponent's Energy Stadium. They do get a heads. To get back one of their discarded energy cards, it's going to be the Psychic Energy coming back into the hand. And it's actually going to be equipped onto the Espeon on the bench. There's the attack, Light Wave, hitting for 40 damage into the Exeggutor. Okay, back over to the other side now. There we see a Grass Energy coming down to the bench Exeggutor now. Followed by Energy Stadium. Here's the coin flip. Okay, it's going to be a heads that time. They're going to be getting back a discarded Grass Energy to place back into their hand. So now Exeggutor can hit either the benched Dragonite or the benched Espeon. Okay, the called shot is going to be going after the Espeon, hitting it for 40 damage. So it's now within KO range on the following turn. Okay, it looks like Espeon's going to be using its ability to bounce the energy from itself back into the player's hand. Okay, now the player's going to be using the Pokemon Center to heal all the damage off of Espeon. And now the energy gets reattached. There's the attack. Light Wave from the Light Dragonite taking the KO against Exeggutor and taking a second prize for Light Dragonite. But there's still one prize behind. There we see the Cleffa coming back into the active spot. Exeggutor just needs one more Grass Energy. Oh, actually, wait, never mind. The Espeon was healed, so it cannot take the KO this turn. But the Exeggutor does jump into the active spot now. After Cleffa retreats, there's the Energy Stadium, and here's a coin flip for it. Tails that time. Nothing. Do they have any trainer cards to use? Yeah, there we see the Professor Elm. To shuffle away the player's hand, draw another 7 cards. And I think this is going to be the final Exeggutor in the in the player's deck. So if this one goes down, the player's going to be having to find another attacker. Okay, there's the attack called Shot, once again hitting the Espeon on the bench. Do they have another Pokemon Center or healing card? Okay, there we see the energy going back to the player's hand. Oh, but they don't have anything to heal the Espeon. It's going to be getting KO'd on the following turn, and there's the attack Light Wave hitting for 40 damage. Okay, so right now the Espeon should be getting KO'd by the Exeggutor. There we see a Grass Energy coming down to one of the Meganium, followed by the Energy Stadium again. And another Tails! A lot of Tails coming through from this side. There we see a Pichu coming down to the bench, followed by another Professor Elm. Once again, the player's going to be shuffling away their hand to draw another 7 cards. They can't use any more trainer cards. So they can't use any focus bands to potentially save this Exeggutor on the following turn. It is going to be getting KO'd. But it's going to be taking on the Espeon first. There's the attack called Shot, taking the KO, taking the 4th prize card. They just got to take 2 more KOs to win this game. But they have 2 fully powered up Dragonites to go up against. And now the bench one is also going to be getting a focus band. And there's the attack. Light Wave, taking the KO against Exeggutor, taking the 3rd prize card. 3 more prizes remaining for the Light Dragonite side. They're still behind by 1 prize. Okay, on the other side, the player's going to be activating their Town Volunteer Supporter card, searching the discard pile for... It's going to be Exeggutor, another pair of Exeggutor and Exeggutor, and a Grass Energy to shuffle back into the deck. So if the player has a Grass Energy in hand, they can start attacking with Meganium. There's the Energy Stadium and Tails. But do they have an energy in hand? Yes, they do, so they attach it. It is now fully powered up to start using the attack Soothing Scent. Okay, now Meganium's going to be getting a focus band as well. There's the attack Soothing Scent hitting for 40 damage. Normally it would also put the opponent's Pokemon to sleep, but the Light Wave does protect the Dragonite from special conditions. Okay, on the other side we see an Eevee coming down. Actually 2 Eevee coming down. And one of them gets a Fire Energy to activate its Pokemon power. Here's the coin flip. Okay, it's going to be Tails. It does nothing. Otherwise, it could have evolved into a Flareon because it got a Fire Energy. There's the attack. Light Wave hitting for 40 damage into the Meganium. Okay, it might take a while for these Pokemon to get KO'd. Both of their attacks only deal 40 damage, and they have 100 HP each. So it's going to be taking 3 attacks to knock out both of them. And now the bench Meganium is going to be getting a Grass Energy. There's the Energy Stadium. They get a Heads that time to get back one of their discarded Grass Energies. So now the bench Meganium is going to be fully powered up on the following turn. And there's the attack. Soothing Scent, hitting for another 40 damage. Light Dragonite is down to just 20 HP remaining, but it could potentially be saved by its Focus Band. And now the Eevee on the bench is going to be evolving into a Flareon, which also gets a boost energy. It is now fully powered up. And there's the supporter for the turn, Copycat, to shuffle away the player's hand. Okay, let's see if the player gets an Espeon now to evolve their other Eevee. Okay, they've got a Pokemon Trader, swapping out a Cleffa from the hand for any Pokemon. This might be the Espeon. And yes, it is. Eevee evolves into another Espeon to keep using the Energy Jump. What's it called? Energy Jump or Energy Bounce? One of those two to potentially get energy cards back into the player's hand. And there's the attack Light Wave, hitting Meganium for another 40 damage, down to 20 HP as well. Now the bench one is going to be getting its Grass Energy. Okay, there we see the Energy Stadium being activated. They got another Heads, once again getting a Grass Energy back into their hand from the discard pile. But they don't have any more attackers to power up. Well, I guess they have the Pichu. Okay, yeah, there's the attack. Soothing Scent. There's the Focus Band activating. Here's the coin flip. Okay, it's going to be a Tails. It does nothing. Light Dragonite is going to be getting KO'd. And the Meganium player takes another prize card. They're down to just one prize remaining. As long as they can take the KO against any of these Pokemon, they can win the game. There we see the next Dragonite coming into the active spot now. They're going to be starting off by using their opponent's Energy Stadium. And they get a Tails, so they can't get their energy cards back. But there we see the Double Gust, targeting down the benched Meganium, the one without the Focus Band, to drag into the active spot. So the Flareon should be able to take the KO against it. Okay, now their opponent's going to be choosing the Flareon to bring into the active spot. It wouldn't have mattered because the Espeon does have a free retreat, so even if their opponent chose that one, it could have just retreated to promote the Flareon anyway. Okay, there's the attack. Discarding the Fire Energy to hit for weakness, taking a one-hit KO against Meganium, taking another prize card. And that is 2 prizes remaining for Light Dragonite. Okay, they might be able to get back into this game. There we see the Meganium coming back into the active spot. It only has 20 HP left, so the Flareon can take the KO against it. And there we see a Grass Energy coming down to the Pichu. It might be the next attacker if this Meganium does get KO'd. Okay, there's a Energy Stadium, but the player got a Tails again. And there's the attack. Soothing Scent, hitting for 40 damage. But Flareon does fall asleep. It is not protected by Dragonite's attack. Okay, the player does check for sleep between turns. And they do get a Heads. Flareon wakes up, but it only has 30 HP left. It might be getting KO'd on the following turn if the Focus Band activates. Oh, actually, there we go. The Espeon uses ability to get the energy card back into the player's hand. And there's Pokemon Nurse to fully heal the Flareon. Okay, now Boost Energy gets reattached. Okay, this might be enough for the KO. Let's see what happens. Here's the Energy Stadium first. Again, another Tails. What a surprise. And there's the attack. Discarding the Boost Energy. There's the Focus Band activating. So the player has to flip a coin for it. Here it is. And it's going to be another Tails. That is 3 for 3 Tails on all Focus Bands. They have not done any saving for either player. Okay, now both sides are tied at 1 prize remaining apiece. There we see a Pichu coming into the active spot. Pichu's going to be getting a Focus Band to potentially save it. Plus, Pichu is also a baby Pokemon, so the Dragonite player does have to flip a coin if they try to attack into it. There we see a Copycat to get some more cards out of the deck. Although I don't think they need anything else. This Pichu might be able to pull it off, but it does have to attack a total of 4 times to take the KO against either Flareon or Espeon. Alright, there's the attack. Zap, hitting every Pokemon with the Pokemon Power, Pokebody, or Pokepower for 20 damage apiece, which is basically every single Pokemon on the Dragonite side. Okay, Flareon's going to be getting a Fire Energy, which then gets discarded to pay the retreat cost. And they're going to be promoting the Light Dragonite. This might be the game. There's the attack. Light Wave. Does the attack go through? Here's a coin flip. Oh, it's a Tails! It does nothing. Okay, so Pichu gets another turn to attack. Okay, they don't play any cards. There's the attack again. Zap. Once again, hitting everything for 20 damage. So the Dragonite and both Eevee evolutions have taken 40 damage apiece. No cards are played. There's the attack. Light Wave. Here's the coin flip again. And another Tails! Dragonite cannot hit this Pichu. Okay, Pichu attacks again with Zap. Everything is now taking 60 damage. Flareon and Espeon are just 1 attack away of being KO'd. If Pichu can survive 1 more turn, it can take the final 2 knockouts and win the game. Okay, the players really targeting down this Pichu. There's the attack. Light Wave. Okay, the attack does go through, but does the Focus Band activate? It's going to be down to this final coin flip. If the player gets ahead, so they can win. But if Tails, they lose. What's it going to be? It's a Tails! Focus Band does not do anything, knocking out the Pichu. And there's the final prize card, and there's the handshake. Light Dragonite is your winner! So what did you guys think of that battle? Let me know down in the comments below. And be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and share this video to help this channel grow and reach new viewers. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, this is the Holland Phantom logging out.